All right. Good morning, Facebook world. We are so excited here at Profile by Sanford in St. Louis to welcome member Amy Johnson, who has been a dear friend and colleague of mine in the past. And she took a leap of faith with us here at Profile, and we are so excited to kind of share her story and journey to us today. And she's been brave enough and willing to share a couple of posts that have really ignited a lot of conversations and people raising their hand and wanting to lean in and potentially coach with us here at Profile. So Amy, I'm going to kind of let you kind of kick it off. What surprised you most about the post that you shared about your transition from, your diagnosis to Profile?
Well, it was me having the confidence to be vulnerable now, but I feel like it's such a safe group. Even though I've only been a part of this profile group for going on week 5 now. Yeah. I absolutely love that Facebook group. I get so much motivation and encouragement from it. And so I decided to go on last week and share my why with everyone, because I think it's important that people understand we all have our reasons for wanting to better ourselves in a variety of ways. And for me, it was because a year ago next month, which is crazy. I can't believe it's been almost a year. I was diagnosed with breast cancer, completely unexpectedly, caught it in a routine mammogram. And I immediately, as an educator, wanted to just inform myself as much as I could about the disease, because I lost my dad to cancer 6 years ago, and my mom is a breast cancer survivor. So I started reading everything I could get my hands on about preventative care, and even though I knew I already had the breast cancer, what could I do to prevent some recurrence of the breast cancer once I got the nasty disease out of my body? And even though I had always considered what I was doing as living a healthy lifestyle, I realized that I was very misinformed about the things that I was putting into my body as far as food goes. And I just felt like it was important to share that with people and let everyone know that we don't always know what's best for us, but by acknowledging that, sometimes we can be our own best advocates. And the feedback I got from the group, the Profile by Sanford Facebook group, was just so touching. There were so many other breast cancer survivors on there that said, "Hey, I was you. Thank you so much for sharing your story." And there were even people who said, "Oh my God, my daughter is going through breast cancer right now. So thank you for sharing the story and for giving us hope." And I never really expected the reaction. I just kind of, as me as a person, I feel like do better, be better, make better. So I just wanted to share my why with people. And I did not expect the reception I got, but it was amazing. And I was very appreciative.
It blew me away. And I guess I'm not necessarily surprised, because you've impacted so many lives as an educator, and then knowing everything that you've gone through and still willing to learn and lean on us means more than you know. And we don't take your trust lightly. We know each and every profile plan is so uniquely different, and everyone's journey is a little bit different. But, what was the final straw for you picking up the phone and leaning on us?
The final straw for me was, this disease is not going to define me. I'm taking my own life into my own hands. Based on the independent research I did that was very scientifically and medically backed, I realized that by changing my lifestyle and my nutrition, I absolutely could play a role in keeping this cancer from recurring. And, a lot of times with breast cancer, they say when it comes back, it goes to the brain, it goes to the bones, these terrible things. And I'm like, no, I'm going to throw everything I possibly can at this. And that really does start with health and nutrition.
Absolutely. I love that you came into this humbly. You'd already done a lot of research on your own, and you're very cognizant of what you put into your body. What do you feel like has been the most surprising part of your journey thus far?
I know I've shared this with you and the other coaches. I cannot believe my energy levels. I honestly had conceded to the fact that I'll be 45 in September. So things are things tend to slow down for us with our bodies and our metabolisms and our energy levels. And I'm also on a pretty gnarly medication for my breast cancer that wreaks just absolute havoc on my body. So I was like, well, and I was sluggish and I was tired and I was going to bed super early and sleeping a lot. And I thought, well, this is just my new normal. You know, with my age and my medication, this is what I just have to accept the fact that this is my life now. But within the first week of joining Profile, I could not believe my energy levels. I'm one of those people as a teacher, every summer I have this huge to-do list around my house, which inevitably I never get to because I just don't have it in me. And I've conquered everything I had to do around my house. And now I'm trying to come up with new projects for myself, just to kind of burn some of this extra energy I have, which is amazing. I didn't think that was ever going to be a part of my life again.
Those were such fun messages to get from you. Like you were just knocking stuff out, not pushing it off to Christmas break like most teachers end up doing because their summer just flies by.
Yes.
You know, love that you shared that you're feeling such great energy right out of the gate and it's working well with your medication because, you know, with that diagnosis, we obviously partnered with your physician immediately to make sure that this was appropriate. And once we got the green light, I knew that this was going to be life-changing for you. What would you say has been your biggest obstacle since starting and how have you conquered that?
It's been a surprisingly smooth and easy journey up to this point. I know I'd shared with you that my babies, my twins turned 16 last week. And to celebrate, they wanted to go out to dinner. So that was really the first time I've been in that situation since starting Profile. And they wanted to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. That's something they very rarely as twins can agree on anything, but that was a place that they could both agree on. So what I did though, I didn't panic. I didn't think, oh God, how's this going to fit into my plan? I got online, I reviewed their menu, and I decided beforehand I was going to get their naked chicken tenders and their raw veggies. And my kids were a little mortified, but oh well, that's what we as moms do. We mortify our kids. But I put my own like fat-free dip in a little container and put that in my purse. So I would have that to dip my veggies in at the restaurant. And I drank several glasses of water while I was there. So I got to enjoy, even though I thought it was going to be maybe difficult, or maybe I wasn't going to be able to order anything. I was able to sit down and enjoy a birthday dinner with my family. And that was amazing. But that was really the first kind of like, oh, what am I going to do kind of situation I found myself in with this. Otherwise, it's been incredibly easy to follow the plan.
That makes me so happy to hear. And I love that you're utilizing those planning ahead moments, those social dining modules that we highlight in the coaching room as well. But honestly, just being able to use those resources and capitalize on those things that, you know, that you can use to set yourself up for success week over week. And couldn't be more proud of that, especially going to a restaurant like that where everything seems to be fried, smothered, and covered. Not even surprised that you prepped ahead the way that you did. What do you feel like you've learned about yourself most since starting?
I think I have learned something that is very difficult for moms and wives and career women just in general. And that is, I deserve this. I think I've been so just, you know, conditioned to believe I need to put everyone's needs before my own. And I always have. So while I don't, you know, wish breast cancer on anyone, it was almost a blessing in disguise to get that diagnosis, because that was kind of like the thing I needed to shake me awake and realize I'm worth it and I deserve this. And my kids deserve me to leave them with a legacy and a mom who they see fights every day to be here with them and live a wonderful life with them. So that was kind of weird to put myself in a situation and say, okay, I'm going to actually do something for me. This is for me. I'm not, yes, it has a ripple effect where it is impacting, obviously, long-term the lives of the people I love and the people around me. But at the core, this was about doing something for me.
I love hearing you say that. We're hearing that over and over in the coaching room as members come in and lean on our coaching, is like they're raising their hand, they're ready to commit, and you're absolutely worth it. If you could give one piece of advice to someone perhaps that's just getting started, or even giving advice to yourself, what kind of advice would you give to somebody?
I would tell people that food and nutrition plays a much larger role in our lives than I think we even realize. Again, I obviously, my diagnosis happened because it happened. It's nothing I did wrong, and I have to, you kind of, when you get a diagnosis like that and find out that nutrition and stuff can kind of play a role into that, you have to move away from what's done is done. I'm not going to blame myself for this happening. But now that I'm more informed and more educated, I can understand that I can be proactive and take my nutrition into my own hands and keep this from happening to me again. And it's never too late. It's never too late to take that into your own hands. I think some people get to a point where they're like, oh, well, this is my life. This is how I've always lived my life. It's too late. You can't teach an old dog new tricks kind of attitude. And that is 100% not true. Like I said, I'll be 45 in September. And I had developed all of those, those habits don't just happen overnight. I've been drinking Diet Pepsi for 30 years. I had been eating potato chips every time I was sad or nervous or anxious. But it is, those habits, but also you need to understand they're not just going to be broken overnight either. And that's okay. We have to give ourselves grace. But it was so funny because yesterday it was like in between that time when I was supposed to be eating again, I was craving a snack. And normally I would have went, and got like a bag of potato chips out of the pantry and I made myself a salad. I'm like, who am I? A salad is a snack now? But it's very satisfying and it's very filling. And it's kind of funny. I've learned in this journey, I've always liked vegetables, but I've never been intentional about incorporating them into my meals before now. And I'm like, why was I not doing this before? It seems so silly. But so that's just what I would tell people. Just go for it. It's never too late. You can always, always take your own life and your own health into your own hands. It's not up to anybody else but you.
Absolutely. I mean, I love hearing you say that it is never too late to raise your hand. And I feel like we say that a lot in the coach room. We're not helpless. Like we're setting up our bodies up for success long-term, not just like the weight loss is inevitable with this plan, but the behavior changes, the lifestyle changes, the things that you're doing to be preventative with future, diagnoses like yours. Like, I feel like the fact that you're just so willing to speak on that speaks volumes. I know it was something that was definitely, came at you, completely blindsided, but I love that you dug deep and you chose to have no rear view mirror, and you're doing what a lot of people, want to do. What's easy, right? If we do what's easy, life's going to be a lot harder later, but you're doing the hard stuff now. So life is going to be so much easier. And we hope to continue to have you share on your journey, Amy, because there's so many other teachers, moms, breast cancer survivors, or currently in remission, or maybe just newly diagnosed, that just feel completely overwhelmed, feel like they're not in control, when really they can have all of this support around them, to help keeping them moving forward, because we are worth it. We do deserve it. I want to thank you for your time, Miss Amy. Thank you for letting us share your story, and we look forward to updating this very, very soon. Thank you for choosing us as your wellness partner.